Hey everyone, my name is Tammy Lewis. Welcome to this week's episode of Joyful Mom. Today we are talking about hiking, getting your kids outside. So why are we talking about this? I'm watching right now this episode. It's a reality series called Alone. And in this reality series, it's fabulous, by the way. They drop off I've just watched the first season, we just finished, so I know who wins. They drop these men off in the deserted forest, like nobody's there. And they drop them off with 10 items. Each man can take 10 items, and they are out there to see how long they can survive. The person who survives the longest gets $500,000. Huge. Well, there are people who drop off like within the first day, and it's interesting to watch these men and their journey. Why do I bring this up? Because those who have survived a little bit are going very reflective on themselves. They are out in nature and they are alone completely with themselves. They have no TV, no laptop, no communication with anyone. And so they're very much in their head. And it's been interesting. One of the men is reflecting right now, or just the last episode was reflecting about how it's so weird to be alone with your thoughts. And that this is a place that you can really connect with who you are. So that's what we want to talk about today is, and what he said was that we are so, that was why I was going to bring this up. I just totally lost my train of thought. He said that we are so much a society of inside and air conditioned that we've lost the connection with the land. And these people are having to fish and build shelter and survive the elements and build fire, and so they're very much having to connect with the land. And he's mentioned a couple times that if you don't work with nature, it will work against you. But it made me think about how much we are inside and how much it is so easy to stay inside our own homes. So today we're going to talk a little bit about getting out there. Now, I could tell you kind of the easy how-to, right? Because most of us know it's important, but sometimes we forget that we've got to just make it happen. So I'm going to tell you a few tips on how to make it happen, because it is so much easier just to stay indoors and go, we'll go out another day. Yeah, I'm comfortable right now. We'll get out there next week. And I'm here to just say, hey, Mom, seize the day. This Sunday is your nature stroll day. This exact Sunday that's coming up right now. I want to encourage you to get your kids and take them out. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the how to make it kind of easy and interesting for your kiddos, how to keep them interested on the hike. But honestly, my heart, because Joyful Mom is all about the headspace, that's like the number one thing we deal with is getting you in the right mindset. I want to give you the why. Why do you want to get out in nature? So let's delve into that first, and then I'll give you 6 tips. So stay tuned for that. And by the way, in the Joyful Mom discussion group, if you have not joined that yet, I have an interview coming up with a gal who gets her kids out hiking all the time. And so if you're watching this like this week that I'm filming it, which is like September 7th, 2020, then go into the Joyful Mom discussion group and listen to her. She's fabulous at getting her kids outside. All right. The why. Nature is where you connect with God. If you think back, and I'm not saying you can't connect elsewhere, not saying that in the least, but if you think back to the very beginning of time, right? What did God build? He started with a garden with Adam and Eve. God shows up when you go out to nature. Now, I will correct that and say he doesn't just show up. He's already there. That is one of his very special places because you're surrounded by what he designed. And when you get your kids out in that same environment, they not only connect with you, but they connect with God in a deeper level. Watching and looking at how God designed things, it's a great way where you can be in awe of the Lord and go, oh my goodness, do you see that leaf? Isn't that crazy that God made that so special from the other leaves? And when you talk to them with that awe, they take that on themselves. It's a great way for them to get to know who God is. Um, Also, along with that, so that's my number one reason to get out. But nature has actually been proven to reduce anxiety, not only in kids, but in you, mom. The anxiety you feel, a lot of times that comes from us staying too much in our own homes, in our own headspace. But if we get out, like today, one of my children was getting really grumpy. I'm like, you know what, let's get out. And when I take them out to the woods, they come back refreshed. So if you deal with a child at all that has anxiety, or if you deal with any anxiety, if you deal with a child who has some hyperactivity, if you deal with a child that has a decreased attention span, nature has been proven to increase attention span, reduce anxiety, and to reduce our stress levels, and to produce the hormones in us that make us feel happier. So I want to, like, if you get nothing else from this video, I want you to understand and take that as very important. Take that as a priority in your life, that getting out in nature is what clears up that headspace. Okay? Like, make that a priority for you. My kids constantly hear from me, you need to walk mom. Like, mom needs a walk. You need to go walk mom. So I don't send them out to walk the dog. I send them out to walk mom, because they know and they have learned that if we take mom for a walk, the household just runs better. So I want to encourage you today, like, I'm looking you straight in the eye here. Make this Sunday a day where you get out, not just for your kids, but for you, because that's important to your headspace. All right. So let's get into the practical and the real. I've got 6 tips here to keep hiking interesting for your kiddos, because I know I hear from some moms that just say, you know, my kids don't want to get out there. I know they don't. Like, I get that. I'm a hiker and my kids still kind of go, really, we're going to do this again? Yep, we are. But there's ways to keep it interesting. So ready? Step number 1, choose your hike wisely. I won't tell you how I know this one, but it is not wise to choose a hike that you think is going to be simple, and it ends up being a 15-kilometer hike uphill the entire first 7.5 kilometers. Again, don't ask me how we know that one, and please don't ask my husband, because he's still a little resentful from it. But choose your hike wisely. Choose something that has a lot of interest along the way. My kids have asked me, as much as possible, Mom, can you choose a hike that has water in it, either as a final destination or that has a stream along the way, something that we can either throw rocks in or wade our feet in, swim in. Something with water has been my kids' number 1 request. Now, I can't always do that, but I do try my best to find some form of water for them on a hike. Other things they really like: bridges. They like great views. Now, great views aren't always something a little kid likes, but the older ones do. Logs and rocks. Yeah. Logs, rocks, and water will be number 1 on your kids' list. And I encourage you to go ahead and let them explore those along the way. An app that works really well, I keep looking down, I wrote notes for this one because I want to make sure I hit some key points. Komoot. I don't know if you pronounce it that way, but it's K-O-M-O-O-T. Komoot app gives you pictures of what you're going to be seeing. So people will go on a hike, they'll take photos along the way, and then they'll put it on the Komoot app. And if you pay attention to the Komoot app, it will actually tell you if it's a 15-kilometer hike. Yeah, it'll tell you. Oops. I should have paid attention. Totally didn't. I took them on this crazy hike. Yeah, my husband was not happy with me. Anyways, my kids did fine. Actually, only one kid went with me on that one. He did great. Okay, number 2. Ready? Number 2, shoes. If you're going to invest in anything, invest in a good pair of shoes for your kiddos. Now, I've got our shoes for super cheap, so they don't have to be expensive, but they have to be good. That way, their feet don't get hurt. Once their feet are hurting, the hike is over. Absolutely over. Now, I will tell you something that we actually absolutely pay attention to, because my kids request water, is that we make sure our kids' shoes are waterproof. It just helps if it starts to rain, if there's mud, waterproof shoes for your kiddos. Now, I know when they're little, that might be a little harder. But as they get a little bit older and are walking more on their own through these hikes, waterproof shoes. Super valuable investment. And you can pass them down from kiddo to kiddo if you've got multiples. Yeah, mine definitely get passed down. All right, number 3. So first one was choose your hike wisely. I've learned. Number 2 is shoes. But number 3 is get each child, if you can, get them their own backpack and water bladder. Not just a cup, right? These are great. But honestly, the water bladders, they love them. There is something about a child taking ownership of the hike when they have their own supplies. So each child has their own backpack, hiking backpack, and they're not like huge hiking backpacks. I mean, they're just, it's big enough to hold a water bladder, okay? And they each have the water bladder. There's something about that straw that they can sip on it the whole time. It's almost, I've seen moms recommend like a lollipop on the way or something because it keeps them licking something. The water bladder kind of does the same thing. They can chew. Well, hopefully they're not chewing on it, but when they're drinking, you kind of have to bite the straw a little bit to open it up, and they like that. So they can just drink away. It keeps them hydrated, and they take ownership somehow. It's like it's a bigger deal for them, and they feel, especially littles, they feel like big kids. Like, I've got my own backpack, I've got my own water. Like, it allows them to take some ownership. I know, you would think it wouldn't. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just backpack. For a kid, it's a big deal. All right, number 4, especially with littles, plan on taking your time. Remember I just said water features, right? Try and get some sort of stream or something if you can. Well, that takes time. If you allow your child to stop and throw rocks in the river, take a little seat yourself because you're not going to be moving fast, especially if you've got littles. But that's okay. What you're doing is allowing them a little bit of time to enjoy themselves. And then you go, okay, time to move on, and you keep moving. Then you stop again and let them explore, touch, experience nature. That's where they really get connected to it. And when you allow them to have some fun along the way, not just get to your end destination, they will be more likely to want to go with you next time. That has been key for us, is to let them be kids. Throw those rocks in the river. Grab that stick and carry it the whole way. Yes, you have to remind them constantly. Be aware of both ends of your stick. But carrying that stick for them is like they've conquered something. And that gives them, again, ownership of the hike. And they will go further for you if you let them be who they are on their hike. All right. When you have littles, you can also put them in your carrier. Like, have a backpack carrier for you, because you won't get very far with itty bitty ones. So let them explore, but then put them in your backpack and you get to go where you want to go, right? Then you let them explore a little bit. Again, taking your time between what you want and what they need. One thing that's really important is when you get out into the woods with a little one, watch and see if they don't just calm down when you put them in the baby carrier. Now, can't guarantee it all the time, right? Kids are kids. They don't always do what we want them to do. But as you get better and better at hiking with them, they will calm down and soothe in the forest. They will. The movement of the trees, the sound of the wind, the sound of the birds, that type of stuff really soothes the child to be much calmer. So if you need a mama break, get your kids outside to the woods. All right, number 5, snacks along the way. In those backpacks they've got, make sure they have enough snacks that they like, but that are energetic for them too. Just like shoes, if you don't have enough snacks with you, they will wear out. And so I always give each child their own pack so that they can control their own eating. And that way I'm not having to constantly get into my backpack. Now, mind you, I always take extra in mine because I want to make sure if they don't self-monitor that I've got something for them at the end. Because a hungry child on a hike is a miserable child. And so make sure they've got plenty of snacks. All right, I know a lot of this is so logical, right? But if you write these things down and then you just simply prepare for them, it makes the preparation go really fast. And it makes it easier when you know what you're bringing, when you know what each child needs to have in order to prepare for this, your possibility of getting out is going to skyrocket. So take a few minutes to make sure maybe an hour this week, to make sure you've got all the supplies you need to get your kiddos out hiking. And then you'll be able to make it happen much easier. Okay, a little prep work ahead of time is going to make prepping each time go that much smoother. All right, number 6. Last thing is you keep positive and let them know, verbally let them know what to expect on the hike. So if you actually, now keeping positive is a pretty easy thing, right? You're excited about the hike. Well, a lot of moms actually sabotage it. And I'll just be real with you here. They sabotage it by going, I don't want to hear complaining. I don't want to hear grumbling. We're getting out to nature. And they sabotage the entire experience by already putting this expectation that the kids don't want to go. They may not want to go, especially if you've got some teenagers. That's okay. You keep positive. You tell them what you're going to see along the way. If there's going to be a castle, let them know. If there's going to be a stream, let them know. If you don't know, that's fine. But if you do know, it helps them anticipate it. Because like, oh, there's going to be some rocks we can climb? Yeah, there's a total great place on this hike that you can run around and climb on all the rocks. They will love that, and that will help build their anticipation. Also, I'd like to let them know like what we're going to do if there's a destination involved. So if you're going to the large redwood tree, I know we did a hike one time where the end result was this huge, large redwood tree. And you let them know when we get to the large redwood tree, that's our destination, and then we just turn around and we come back. But knowing that you have a destination can sometimes help a child to want to do it. They're like, okay, we get to there, we turn around. Our thing is at the end, at the destination, wherever it is, at the midway point, we eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And that has become our thing. We don't eat PB&J that much in the home. The kids sometimes do. I don't eat it at all. But on a hike, I always have a PB&J at my destination or in the halfway point of the hike. I don't know why. It just became this thing. But what it did for us was the kids know that at the destination, we pull out our sandwiches, right? And then they also know that it has, well, for me, it has made it easier to know what to pack. I don't have to think about what do we want on this hike. Nope, this is a hike. We get PB&J. And that's made it a lot easier for me as a mom to pack up. All right. Outdoors is one of the best ways that you can connect with your kiddos, honestly, with yourself, and of course, mostly with the Lord. So I just wanted to encourage you today to make it happen. Seize the day, Mom. Make it happen for you and your family on a consistent basis. Make that your happy place. And let your kids know that's your happy place. And if you want a happy mama, you go out hiking with me. You go out to nature with me, whether it be a bike ride, a walk, whatever. Train them in that. And they will support you in that. All right, and I would love to know below if you usually hike with your kiddos, or if you don't, tell me a little bit about your experience with the outdoors. Just comment below. I will definitely get back with you and engage with you because I love to hear from you. So just let me know a little bit about your outdoor experience with your kiddos, if it's something you guys do or not. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. The goal of Joyful Mom is to encourage and support other moms. And by you sharing it, the word gets out to many, many more. And that's what we want to do, is get the word out to other moms that we love and support them. All right, God bless. Embrace the journey of hiking today. And let me know if you get out this Sunday. I know we are. We're definitely getting out this Sunday. All right, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.